Alaska Governor Sarah Palins has just supported a $400,000 state-funded campaign to educate Alaskans about wolf killing. Why? Because Governor Palins is afraid that Alaskans will vote to end the current aerial gunning program for the third time in an upcoming ballot initiative. Alaska residents have twice voted to ban aerial wolf hunting, first in 1996 and again in 2000. Both times the Alaska legislature overturned the will of the people and allowed the Game Board to recreate the programs after the two-year initiatives expired. 671 wolves have been shot by Alaska residents in private aircraft over the past 4 years. And what's worse, other states are looking to Alaska to justify beginning aerial wolf hunting programs of their own.
Like I said, I was on the board when this intensive management law was written. That was the intent of the law, was to reallocate the harvestable surplus of game animals from predators to humans.
Reallocate from predators to humans. That means to kill wolves and bears so there's more game for humans to shoot. But up to 73% of those humans have turned out to be sport or trophy hunters, not subsistence hunters who need the meat. This bill will close a loophole in the Federal Airborne Hunting Act that game managers in Alaska have been taking advantage of and keep aerial hunting from spreading to other states. Alaska's hunting abuses were responsible for creating the act, and those abuses continue today. It all began in 1900. Alaska's total population was about 64,000 people. Even back then, overhunting and predator control were big issues. Denali National Park was created in 1917 because hunters were decimating Dall sheep. Today, evidence of overhunting abounds.
More and more non-residents are coming to Unit 23 to hunt. If you listen closely, you can hear the stampede coming. They usually go on day hunts from the village by boat and hunt along the way, but as they go up the river, all the caribou crossings have campsites on them now. You see unlimited duration of camps on these crossings. Camp after camp after camp. You see big camps put up of 8, 9, 10 tents that get traded in and out periodically of new hunters. The camp never moves, it just stays there.
Add to that poaching, severe winters, the lack of enforcement, and then ask, are predators the scapegoats? By 2006, Alaska's population had grown to a little over 670,000 people. If game was scarce enough to warrant cries for predator control when Alaska's total population was fewer than 64,000 people, what would a tenfold increase in population do? Simple. In 1994, the Alaska Outdoor Council, backed by members of the NRA, got the legislature to pass SB 77, the Intensive Game Management Law. This law mandates that when game numbers drop below what is desired for human harvest, predators will be killed. If that wasn't bad enough, the Board of Game ignored both public and science-based concerns in setting harvest goals. They took the artificially high peak population numbers created after decades of aerial wolf control and poisoning and used those estimates to set population and harvest targets for each game management unit. Protests to a board of game made up of only hunters and trappers were ignored. Legislation makes all Alaskan hunters subsistence hunters, regardless of need. And urban hunters have fought against a subsistence preference for rural Alaskans for decades. Why? Polls have shown that the public may accept predator control if done to meet true subsistence needs. So urban hunters hide behind the subsistence label to pursue their favorite pastime unhindered and unchallenged. In fact, based on the 2005 harvest records, the majority of successful hunters in 3 of the 5 active wolf control areas are urban and non-resident trophy hunters, not the local subsistence hunters who need the meat. In this and the following areas of the map, predator control is in effect and airplanes were used to shoot wolves. Urban and trophy hunters killed 73% of the game taken. In this area, urban and trophy hunters shot 59% of the game. And in this area, they bagged 58%. Why haven't hunters been managed better? Consider the title of the newsletter of the Board of Game. It's called All You Can Eat. In 2004, areas that were eligible for predator control based on artificially high moose harvest objectives and the intensive game management law included approximately 40% of Alaska. And during the last Board of Game meeting, there were cries for more, including all federal lands. If you want to artificially boost moose and caribou numbers in an area, killing all the predators there does work in the short term, but it soon leads to population booms and then crashes as habitat is destroyed and the land struggles to recover. That's what they're trying to prevent in Unit 20A. Predators have been decimated and the moose population now exceeds the carrying capacity of the land. Did the Game Board limit the taking of predators so nature could return balance? No. Now they're killing cows and calves. Supporters of wolf control argue that their wolf hunting programs are based on sound science. Here's what the Alaska Department of Fish and Game Regional Director Jeff Hughes said at a Board of Game meeting in March of 2004.
We have black bears, brown bears, and wolves, as you're well aware. They're all taking moose calves. And we're going to be vulnerable to criticism, and we're going to be unable to perhaps assess the results of a wolf control program without having at least a rudimentary understanding of what are the serious predators out there and how many are they taking. Should we be concentrating our efforts at black bears, brown bears, wolves, or all 3? When I started out, I said our recommendation was that the board not initiate a program at this meeting, and that's where we're at.
Ben Grissendorf.
When we were all up in Anchorage discussing predator control with the chief executive, the governor, he indicated to us that he was all with us and for us, but make sure we have the sound science behind it. Make sure we had the science so we could have something to stand on. We don't have it here.
At this stage in the game, I think we can jockey back and forth in the question and answer to the department, but we're not going to get out of them. What we're asking for right now is a nod of approval that we should move forward this. If the board finds that we have adequate rationale for doing so, then Jeff's objections and the department's objections shall be heard. They'll be considered, but they will be overridden.
The depth of Alaska's political corruption is now receiving national headlines. Is it unreasonable to assume that it doesn't end with votes for oil interests? Why else would the legislature defy 2 successful ballot initiatives banning aerial wolf hunting and reinstate it 2 years later, the moment it was legal for them to do so? Alaska is an American icon, the last bastion of wilderness. International travelers flock to Alaska to experience its grandeur, its scenery, but most of all its wildlife, which oftentimes has been hunted to near extinction in their homeland. America's wolves are a world treasure, and it's the duty of our elected officials to be their responsible guardians. Don't let Alaska's politicians overturn the will of the people for the 3rd time. Don't let this loophole encourage other states to begin aerial wolf hunting programs of their own.